him. Senator Roberts.
Thank you, President. This bill needs to be sent to committee to ensure that sensible and reasonable discussion can address the inherent error that exists in the Sex Discrimination Act 1984. It's been said that sometimes the law is an ass, or an arse, some say. What this means is that sometimes a law is made validly through Parliament that contains a blatant, obvious, overt, logically impossible, glaring, factual error. There are many examples. The error in this case is that a mistaken concept from simply saying something, perhaps based on a mistaken belief, becomes a fact, but it will never become a fact because it's not truth. The actual mistake made in the Sex Discrimination Act 1984 is that if a person identifies as being of a particular gender, such as female, despite biological evidence to the contrary, they should at law be considered a female. This law is insane and delusional and only normalises those persons with the illness called gender dysphoria when they should be receiving psychiatric care, support and loving compassion. Now, I'm not talking about people who have a preference to partner with a person of the same gender, or those who prefer to dress in the style of a person of the opposite gender to which they were born. I'm not talking about those persons who were born with both male and female genitalia, true hermaphrodites, very, very few in number, but nonetheless exist. But just for me to identify as being 2 metres tall does not make me that tall. That's the way it is. Thinking it or saying it does not make it true. The Australian basketball team, the Boomers, is not going to select me to join their team. Passing a law that says that I'm 2 metres tall does not make it true. That's the stupidity and falsehood of the effect of the current Sex Discrimination Act 1984, a true example of what George Orwell predicted could happen in a future chaotic world. The women's rights movement took a massive leap backwards when Julia Gillard's changes to discrimination law started. It made possible the extreme examples when definitions of what constitutes a male and a female became blurred. We're now confronted with issues when a female enters a female-only space, such as a public toilet, and confronts a person claiming to be female who is visibly male and is biologically male. And he is invading her space. She may well be fearful of her personal safety and privacy. That's very important to consider. Women have fought hard for equal rights, only to have pseudo-women, not biological women, attack women's rights, wanting to access the privileges of women-only spaces and opportunities. The encroachment of pseudo-women into women's sports events became a debacle at the Olympic Games recently when a biological male claiming to be a female battered women into submission to win a boxing gold medal. Battering women into submission is now a recognised sport because the International Olympic Committee is afraid to confront the truth. At the hands of the Greens and Labor, this insanity that defies and contradicts biology, defies science is overriding women's rights. The biologically male boxer used his strength and physical male advantage to defeat all the true women opponents in the lead-up.
Order.
In the lead-up
Order.
events. This has led to the world condemnation of the Olympic Committee. And note, the International Boxing Federation bans biological males from competing against biological females, as do an increasing number of international sporting bodies. These are all real issues that this bill would address, and to do so simply, reinserting biological definitions of what constitutes a male and a female. I support the amendment to move this bill to committee stage. The people of Australia need to have a say. The people of Australia need to have a say. Julia Gillard's bill did not give the people a say. This Senate can rectify this. Let's listen to the people. Let's engage in honest inquiry. And I must point out, Senator Hanson is a woman.
Thank